afternoon, everybody. It's a blustery December day, and we are headed into town to pick up my electric cargo trike. Got the trailer on the back of the Nissan muscle truck, my big Nissan Titan. When I have to drive a truck, I love driving this one. The 5.6 V8 is just perfect for my driving style. But anyhow, we're going to pick up the Cargo Max E-Trike, and we'll look at it when I get it home and see what it looks like. We'll start the initial first impressions review. So y'all hang on, we'll be right back. Alright, I picked it up, got it loaded up in the trailer. It's a lot better than what I thought it would be, as far as looks and stuff. I really didn't have a lot of hope for it. Of course, I realize a lot of the bad press and expectations comes from when Safer Wholesale is the only one selling these things. Even they're not that bad. So it'll be interesting to get this thing home and go over it. Well, we made it home, all in one piece. Well, that was pleasantly surprising. It came in, ready to ride. The battery is charged up. Like I say, it says Jinping, which I suspect is the manufacturer for all of them, but it's sold as Massimo. This is just, we'll walk around it this evening, and I'll come back tomorrow afternoon and finish filming this video. I get a full in-depth look of it. We'll peel all the plastics and stuff off of it. But so far it's actually better than I was expecting for this little money. Especially given my past experience with Chinese motorcycles. You know, they're okay for what they are. But get what you pay for. But then again, if I get what I pay for this one, that's fine. It's worth it. I know how to fix it, modify it, upgrade it. But right now, I like it so far. Well, I tell you what, before I do any of that, let's take you for a quick spin out to the mailbox. Okay, how about that? If the parking brake is on, it won't move. I'll have to remember that. The acceleration is kind of brisk. The suspension is crude, golf cart crude. But hey, that's kind of what I was expecting. Can't wait for my wife to see it and see what she thinks of it. Howdy everybody. I hope you're enjoying this review of the Massimo Cargo Max E-Trike. Before we get further into it though, I'd like to take a moment to remind you of our online partner, WeBike Japan. They got their Christmas sale going on right now. It's 3 weeks long, from December the 6th to December the 26th. Go check them out. I promise, if you're into bikes, whether you need OEM, custom, or aftermarket equipment, you won't be disappointed. The prices are great. The quality is excellent. Much better than buying from unknown suppliers on eBay for custom parts for Japanese motorcycles. Plus, they have parts for all other brands too, including Vespa, Harley Davidson, Royal Enfield, Triumph, Ducati, etc., etc. So go check them out at japan.webike.net. Now, let's get back to the review of the Massimo Cargo Max e-Trike. Going over the Cargo Trike, a couple of things I have discovered I don't like. One is going to be the fact that I have to disassemble some things to take the plastic wrap off of the parts cleanly, such as the seat backs and off of the headlight assembly. I have to partially disassemble the headlight assembly to get all the plastic off of it. It's a minor quibble, but it's something that they could do better. One interesting thing I found is these 3 extra connectors here under the headlight not connected to anything. I wonder what they do. It's kind of rough and bouncy down there. The throttle's got a little play in it, like it's on and off switch almost.
Yeah, you barely. There we go.
And once you get rolling, it speeds up and slows down by the throttle. That initial hit is like a surge. Cruising nice and slow down here. It's rough. When you get to the telephone pole, you can stop. Well, let's walk out here and take a look at this thing up close with some details to it. You know, I went and picked it up Thursday at Saturday night. It's a crisp Saturday in December, kind of cool. Initial impressions of this thing were it's terrific for the price. As you saw, like some of the wiring under the headlight earlier in the video, it's built down to a price. It's not built up to a standard. But it still works out pretty well. I haven't found anything on it not functional. QC was done pretty well. I didn't have to assemble anything. We'll go over the features. You can see I've got the bed tilted up here. It's held up on gas struts. It's got these latches here to hold it down. I will probably put some click pins through here just for safety. But overall, that part seems to work pretty well. Here you can see the dump bed with the sides tilted down and the bed stood up. It's bigger than what you would understand seeing it online. I really don't expect these things to be too popular here in the U.S., but at the same time, I haven't seen an independent review on one yet. It has a motorcycle style front end with some beefy looking external springs. I don't know if they're functional or not, but they look cool. Now this wheel here, it looks to be heavy duty, but it is an inner tube wheel. Despite being a mag wheel, it does have an inner tube. The front brake and adjuster there. Fairly simple drum brakes on the front. You know, the headlight assembly is what I like to call cheap fancy. It's got an LED ring around it with a little projector style lens in the middle for the actual headlamp itself. And it all works. Everything on it is working. We do have to talk about the rear tires are 12-inch tires. Now they are labeled DOT approved. So that is it. 60-volt motor and transaxle in here with a 60-volt controller. And 5 12-volt batteries, which are only 45 amp hour, which is part of what makes it hard for me to believe to claim 30-mile range. I'd like to get the specs on this controller, but I'm going to have to translate these Chinese labels. I know Massimo does their final assembly of their UTVs and stuff in Texas. I don't know if they do that for these. Got a large storage compartment under the seat here. Got a circuit breaker under there and what looks like a 12-volt converter for the 12-volt accessories. Close the seat down. The battery charging port is there. This handle right here is the differential lock. It locks the differential together. So if you find yourself spinning, you can hook both wheels together. It's not going to handle any serious off-roading with these skinny little tires. As I said, the battery tray is huge. It leaves the option of upgrading later, which I may do. There's definitely room to put higher capacity batteries in here and still stay 60 volts. Or to add more batteries to it and go to 72 or 84 volts. But if you do that, you'll probably have to change the controller. You'll definitely have to change out the charger. Let's close the bed down. Yeah, I forgot to latch the seat back up. This is one of the other neat features that I'll show you in a minute. I was riding around in this seat a while ago with my wife driving and I forgot to latch it back down. It really could use a safety spring on it though, but it doesn't have one. But then again, at the price of these things, it's hard to complain about them. Like I said, they're built down to a price. Do not buy this expecting anything like Honda quality. But think of its main competition as being something like a 20-year-old golf cart that you would pay $2,000 or $3,000 for, which is about what these cost. The bed sides flip up. Sturdy latches on them. See, everything is old-fashioned manual latches and mechanisms. Under here is the latch for the bed. We have rear drum brakes, plain steel wheels. Let me latch the bed on this side as well. Now, a lot of people have complained about technical support on them, and I wouldn't know anything about that. Quite frankly, even if it broke down tomorrow, I probably wouldn't call tech support. I'd just work on it myself. But that's the whole key to remember with any of these inexpensive imported vehicles like this, especially the electric ones. If you buy them cheap, you should be handy. Like I said, it's sold by Massimo. It's branded as Massimo Electric. So I have a feeling they do a little tighter quality control than some of the other sellers. I don't know that for sure. I've been seeing these things for years at websites like Safer Wholesale and stuff, but kind of was leery of getting on. But even though it's branded Massimo, you can see it's manufactured by a company called Jinping. A lot of these Chinese companies do that. They have one or two manufacturers. I have found 2 adults can fit side by side on the seat if they're not too big. 2 little people like my wife and I can fit right on here. But we'll roll these things over here so that they sit down. And this seat back will actually fold down and become a rear-facing seat. A cup holder here, a cup holder here, little compartments. The parking brake is right over here. As I said, here's one of the things where you can see where the price was cut. Look at the staples on the cushion here. I had to take these cushions completely off in order to take the plastic wrapping off of them, which I thought was a little excessive, but I guess it was just as easy for them to put the plastic wrapping on them and mount them in one piece. I actually had to take the headlight assembly out and take it apart to remove the plastic from it, because it was wrapped around and trapped under the screws that held the headlight into the housing there. But so far it's been so good. The entire thing has been completely functional. It came with this cell phone holder. Now I wrapped a couple of extra rubber bands around it because, quite frankly, I don't trust it to hold my phone. But you see it's got a wire running to it. It's also got a charging port on the bottom of it here. So you can charge your cell phone from your tricycle while you're riding it. Step up here a minute. What we're going to do is pull forward into the shade. Let me switch it on right quick. Pull forward into the shade a little bit so you can see the dash and all that a little better without the sunshine. It's not a super plush ride like a UTV or anything. It's meant for smooth. This is an industrial tricycle. But it has a full set of turn signals and lights. Over here, you can see everything on the speedometer. It's got a battery meter, speedometer, an odometer, which are all set up in miles for the American market, at least on the ones you buy from Massimo. I ordered this one through Lowe's and picked it up at my local Lowe's store. Okay, over here on the handlebar, we have a drive and reverse switches. You can hear the beeping when I put it in reverse. Then you have low, medium, and high on the speeds. It's on low speed right now, which is what I use. And low speed is limited to an indicated 13 miles an hour, which is plenty for what I'm doing here. Of course, over here we have turn signals, horn, headlight high and low beam, headlights off and on. Got parking lamp settings. All the lights work, the brake lights work, turn signals work. I'm actually trying to get this thing titled as an electric moped. It came with an MSO that stated it was an electric motorcycle. The DMV is looking into this for me. I left them photocopies of the MSO, my invoice from Lowe's, as well as the VIN plate and a couple of pictures of the vehicle. And they're supposed to call me back and let me know if they'll let me register this thing or not. Top speed is an advertised 19 miles an hour. I have had it up to 24 indicated on its own speedometer, but I will be testing that against GPS speedometer later. If I can register this thing as an electric moped, that would be wonderful. Then I would be able to drive it around the neighborhood on the street without having to worry about any legal implications. All the cheapo LED lights, but they all work. I look under the bottom here at the transaxle. You can see a lot of loose wires and stuff. I've been tidying up wires. I've got one right there I need to tie off over there by that spring shackle. I don't know what it goes to or what it provides, but it's for some option, I'm sure. I have seen some photographs of these things with trailer hitches on them, but this one doesn't have it, and nor will I try to install one, although I may have put a small hitch on it to pull things like my lawn sweeper or a small cart around the yard. But I got it to haul stuff. It'll be great for hauling firewood to the fire pits, cleaning up around the big oak tree in the front yard, which after every storm always drops a few dead trees. I mean, it is 300 years old after all. It's going to shed some. And part of having it, the privilege of having such a tree in your yard is having to take care of it. But anyhow, why don't we take this thing out for a short ride and see how it feels and see how fast it can actually go. Okay, here we are. Let's take this thing out and see if it'll reach its advertised 19 miles an hour top speed. We'll go put it in high gear on the switch here. It has 3 speed settings. I've got a GPS speedometer app open on my phone to see how close it matches. Because quite frankly, a speedometer on a $40,000 or $50,000 vehicle is off. I certainly don't expect it to be on a $2,000 vehicle. The rear view mirrors here are fairly useless. Anyhow, the GPS speedometer is showing 19 miles an hour exactly. Drop back to 18 going up the hill a little bit. Definitely need some longer mirror stalks. It's interesting how fast the battery gauge starts going down. But anyhow, the speedometer on the dash shows 25 miles an hour, and the speedometer on the GPS is bouncing between 18 and 19. So it will run an actual 19 miles an hour. I'm satisfied with that. I'm gonna ride on down the road a little bit. mail truck. So the speedometer has a 6 mile an hour error. Put it in low range and see what the speed limit is. All right, low range is maxing out at 10 or 11 miles an hour. Let's go to medium. All right, you can feel an immediate pickup of speed there. Now we got 15 real miles an hour out of the medium speed. I mean, this is already faster than the golf cart that this thing is replaced would go, which was an older 36-volt golf cart. I know some of the new stuff will fly. But quite frankly, if I'm going to spend that much money, I'll just get a full-on UTV. Back to high speed. Definitely need to do something with the mirrors. 19 miles an hour. Beautiful cold December day. Out here on the pavement, the ride feels pretty good. But it's no off-road machine, that's for sure. Be a great yard cart if you had a large palatial estate to take care of. Golf course maintenance. See, now that I'm back in the yard, let's switch it back down to low speed, because you really don't need to go too fast in a bumpy yard with this thing. It'll shake you to death. Of course, now that I've slowed down, the battery gauge goes back up. Come over here, we'll thumb it in the reverse and back up to the door a minute. It is kind of difficult because of the motorcycle style controls to see behind yourself when you're backing up. But anyhow, she will run 19 miles an hour as promised by the manufacturer. So I can live with that. Well, this kind of concludes my initial review and testing of the Massimo E-Max cargo trike. It's good, especially for the price. Keep the price in mind and you'll be satisfied enough. Like I said, some people have complained about the service and stuff they've gotten that I have seen on the reviews online. But these things are sold anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 for a brand new vehicle. Don't think of it as a UTV or an ATV. Think of it as a replacement for an industrial truck or an older golf cart for use around your home and your farm or your plant for chores, and you won't be disappointed with it. So that's it for now. Y'all keep riding, keep wrenching, stay crazy.